Good afternoon, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Official lockdown day one. We are, like, the entire state is on, I don't know, shelter in place law or something. Shelter in place, like, advisory, whatever it's called. But basically, like, unless it's an emergency or we have to get food or whatever else, we cannot leave our house. So and not that we can't leave our house, but we can't, like, go anywhere really. We can still go on walks. We could still actually, probably, the park is like 2 blocks away from us. We could walk there as long as we, you know, maintain a social distance of 6 feet. So we can, like I said, like, go there if we wanted to. Matthew went for a run this morning. You know, we could go and take our bikes somewhere, although my parents, technically, I guess they don't have bikes because me and Matthew took both of their bikes. Because we never got bikes, like adult bikes. As soon as I was like, after I learned how to ride a 2-wheeler on a little bicycle that used to have training wheels, and then obviously took the training wheels off and it was a 2-wheeler, the only other bike I had was my mom's to ride. So like, when I first was able to ride it, my feet could just barely touch the ground. Like, I'm super short anyway, so but like, I was just barely able to touch the ground by the time we finally, like, got rid of my old bike because it couldn't go up any higher. And then my mom's was like much taller than what I was used to, and you know, the other one, like I said, was just like, I couldn't ride it anymore. I was too big for it. So yeah, and then this kind of the same thing with Matthew too. He might have had like more of an in-between, like sort of like a teen bike, but mine was like a kid's bike. And then I went from a kid's bike to an adult bike. I never had like that in-between, like, teenage, you know, teen bike or whatever. But my mom was also short too, so her bike wasn't like super tall or anything like that. So yeah, but I don't like my mom's bike because the handlebars, like, they're all messed up, sort of. One doesn't, like, it only has a brake on the front. It's supposed to have a brake on the front and back wheels, but it only has one on the front that works. The other one is like completely jammed. It will just not budge, and you can't untwist it. So that you can brake with the back bike. So whenever I'm going like down a hill, I feel like if I use the brake, I'm just gonna go like head over heels over the bike handle, sort of. You know, and so obviously that's not very safe. That's why you're supposed to like use both brakes, you know, or like the back brake. It's more like if I'm going downhill, I'm scared, which I don't know, I guess isn't everywhere, but like, you know, like, that's normally when I feel more like I need to use the brake, and that one's more scary because you feel like, you know, if you stop too fast, then you're just gonna, like, the bike's gonna flip over, which is kind of scary. So yeah, anyways, that, and then I think Matthew's actually left his bike because he was using it last year for school, for college, and I think he left it maybe at his girlfriend's house because her dad had a truck, so he ended up bringing it home last semester, and I don't think he ever ended up getting it back. But Matthew was riding his bike at school last year. But yeah, like I said, we can like go and take walks and stuff like that, take the dogs out, you know, which the dogs we normally just let out in the backyard. We're not super like big into walking them. I mean, we'll take them for walks every once in a while, but as far as like our neighbor that lives like a few houses down, she's like religious with taking her dogs for her, well, she used to have 2 dogs, now she has 1, but she's like religious with taking the dog for a walk, like every single, like, so many hours. She'll let the dog outside too because she has like a front fenced in yard, but then she also has like, she'll take the dog for a walk like multiple times a day. But I was like, hey, you can stay in shape by, you know, just taking your dog like, you know, 2 or 3, I mean, she probably takes a dog for a walk like maybe 5 times a day or something like that, but you know, like, you can stay in shape. You just take the dog around the block or whatever, like 5 times a day. Like, that is totally awesome. I wish we took our dogs for a walk like once every 5 days. As he's listening to me and he's like, what? We don't go for walks as much as normal dogs do? I mean, like, I mean, and obviously too, when it's winter out and cold, it's harder to do that. But like I said, the lady down the street, she takes her dog out even when it's like snowing, it's icy out. Like, nobody shovels their sidewalks or anything like that. Like, she still trudged through the snow, and she's got a little dog that I think is, she said, was like a Chiweenie, like they are. One of the ones that she had, I don't know if it was both of them. But, I mean, they're small dogs, too. And, like, the poor thing is, like, hopping through the snow, too, with her, you know. And so I was like, all power to you. Like, I don't know if I'd go out there in, like I said, when it's freezing cold and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's obviously that it's warmer out. It's like, you know, it's much better weather to take the dogs out. But the dogs like just play around in the snow in the backyard. But anyways, guys, I did not end up going to the grocery stores today because I don't know if, like, or where my parents heard it from, but it was suggested that, like, only one person from your house, like, leaves to go and, you know, goes and does your errands or whatever and stuff like that. Again, unless it's an emergency and you need somebody to drive you somewhere or whatever. So the quarantine, I guess, or shelter in place did not take effect until 5 o'clock tonight. So my dad ended up going to the grocery stores way before that. It was like much earlier. Well, actually, no, I think it was maybe about 1 o'clock he ended up going. But so then that was when it like officially took place. And it's been really weird, guys, too, because I've noticed for the last several days, it's super quiet. Like, I mean, there was a lot of like traffic, I guess. Our streets are decently busy. It's not like super busy, but it's not like just a quiet little side street. It's kind of a main street that like runs through town. Like, it's really the only street that connects if you're trying to take a side road instead of taking like a main, you know, a main road. And two, if you're coming from like one side of town, normally it's easier to get through if you go this way and shorter, I guess. So anyways, yeah, it could, like, the way our town is laid out. So we do have like decent amount of traffic, and there was a lot, like, I guess a decent amount, like, but then I started noticing, I was like, it sounds really quiet. And the other thing too that I haven't noticed, which I notice a lot, is like airplanes. I haven't like heard as many airplanes, which I don't know if it's really like, oh, because like there's no, you know, like planes flying at all or anything like that, but like we're not like super close to any of the airports, but there is like a local airport that's not too far away, and like sometimes there'll be planes flying, but I mean, even just like big commercial, like, you know, planes and stuff like that, I know that there's like a flight path that a lot of times I see them all the time, like outside my window, and I haven't really noticed them over the last few days. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, I wonder if it's just because like more flights are being like, you know, grounded and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, guys, it's really weird. Like, it's just been super, like, I don't know, quiet and like abnormal out. But the weird thing is, though, I feel like more people are actually out walking and stuff like that, because again, what else is there to do? Like, people that are tired of being in their house, go and take a walk, go and take a jog. Like I said, Matthew went for a walk one day, maybe yesterday, and then went jogging today, or sprint or run or whatever he ended up doing today. You know, so like people are like out way more, I feel like, actually, like, you know, and the weather is a little bit better. It was still only like 40s or so today, and I think that's what it's kind of supposed to be most of the week, like maybe into the 60s, but nothing really like super, you know, super warm weather. Maybe high 50s or something like that. I already checked it, but now I don't remember what it was, but it looks like that for pretty much the next full week. But like I said, people are like out walking more, again, because of the nice weather, also because of, you know, everybody's home, so, you know, that whole thing. But, you know, like I said, there's not like too much else to do. Like, but Illinois is, like I said, now, like, I don't know how long this is supposed to last. Well, I do. It is supposed to last, I believe, until April 7th. I saw something got posted. I actually think it was from our police station posted it, maybe, or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's the day before Jack's birthday. Which doesn't mean that life is going to go back to normal on April, you know, 8th or anything like that. But in all honesty, they might still wind up, like, you know, extending it. Nothing ended up changing for us. We've kind of been following like shelter in place like rules and everything like that since pretty much like over a week ago. Like I said, I've been out to the grocery store, but other than that, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I will start going like stir crazy or not being in the house, because like, even if I normally don't wind up like doing much of anything or going anywhere during the week, you know, like I always know that it's that option. But you know, it's like once somebody tells you can't do something, all of a sudden you're like, I want to do it, you know, kind of thing. Like I can't leave the house, I want to leave the house now, you know. Like when you're sitting through a 3-hour movie and somebody, you know, you're like, I know I can't go to the bathroom, so now I have to go to the bathroom. You know, or just like I said, you know, like you're told you can't do something or you think you can't do something, so then you're like, well, now I have to do it. So knowing just like it was always an option, like, oh, if somebody was running errands, I could always go with and stuff like that, but like nobody's running errands anymore. And you know, like everybody's here and it's gonna be like that for a while. Like, not that I don't love my family, but I'll be honest, every once in a while you do kind of just want to be like, hey, I want to go and like run some errands, or you know, like I said, go to the grocery store or whatever. And now since my dad is actually the one that goes out, because he's still considered an essential personnel like worker, so he is gonna still be working this week and into the foreseeable future unless anything changes. So he ended up going to Aldi, and then went to Menards, and then went to Target because he couldn't find everything, which originally just at Aldi, and then he was planning on going to Menards anyway, and then ended up, like I said, went to that other place, third place, to Target. But he actually did get some fresh produce. This is my biggest thing, guys. I'm most concerned about our fresh produce, and obviously you guys saw in yesterday's vlog, like my mom started every single plant known to mankind practically growing in our house, like vegetables and fruit and all that. Well, I guess not really fruit, but we do have melon seeds. So anyways, but that's probably one of my biggest things, is just like we rely a lot on fresh produce, and that's one of my big things, is that we buy a lot of that. That's why I shop at as many grocery stores as I do. You know, I like to shop around, and we'll shop at Valley Produce, Caputo's, Aldi, Jewel, Menards, you know, not really Walmart or Target, but you know, I shop around at those stores just because sometimes they have the best deal on produce. So the fact that, you know, I will do all the grocery shopping in 1 week just to get as much produce, you know, at the best prices. And now the fact that, like, you know, not that there isn't fresh produce, but like we're not going to be going out and like doing all these deals, because most likely it's going to be like, okay, just probably whatever we need, you know, go and pick up. So that's why my dad did kind of our last minute, I don't want to call it panic buying, because he spent like right under 150 bucks, like it was 100 and something, which is actually normally what our grocery budget per week is. But it was just kind of like last minute things that we definitely knew we needed, especially like I said, if we were going to be in here for a while and didn't know if we were going to be able to get back out to the grocery store, or even to like maybe next week we don't go to the grocery store if we don't need to, or we don't need anything. But he did get a new cantaloupe at Aldi. They were on sale. He got lettuce, tomatoes, cucumber for a salad. But again, like, just like, to me too, sometimes the thought of just eating nothing but processed food, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I need sometimes some variety. I need some stuff that tastes like a little bit different. Sometimes it's just fresh, you know, produce or whatever. So again, like, we could probably get that at Aldi, but again, I don't want to like be spending an arm and a leg to get that stuff, because I've been buying it just at one grocery store instead of my normal grocery stores where I always get it so cheap, you know, if it's not on sale that week or whatever. But yeah, like I said, guys, we'll have to see like going forward and stuff like that. But like I said, next week, other than maybe a couple of perishable items, we really probably don't need anything. We stocked up a bunch on apples. We have some green bananas, which is good. Those normally last about 2 weeks. So again, we have that, so probably about 2 weeks worth of stuff. I've already cut up some broccoli and cauliflower, which normally cut up will stay in the fridge for about 2 weeks as well, give or take a little bit. The salad, if I don't cut up the lettuce right away and I wait till like midweek, I could probably get it to last through part of next week maybe, or like maybe later in the week, like Thursday or Friday, and then we can have that for, you know, like as a side, because I just cut up the one from last week yesterday, or 2 days ago or something like that. So yeah, like I said, guys, I will keep you guys up to date on our lockdown diaries. So yeah, that's what's up for today. But yeah, like I said, we have pretty much everything we need to be probably in the house for more than 2 weeks. But you know, that's just kind of what is advised because of everything. And like I said, we're pretty good, it seems like, in all areas of everything. My mom like tried to go over everything last minute. Plus too, she ended up buying dog food and batteries and something else on Amazon because she thought that the stores were out of it, and I was like, no, the stores still have that stuff. Like, she hasn't even gone out to the stores in like over a week, and like she started like buying stuff on Amazon because she's like, I really think we need this, and I was like, no, we don't, like, we're good. Although we were out of batteries, and she did get actually a pretty good deal on batteries on Amazon, but you know, like I said, it's just, we'll see how things end up going. Tomorrow, I think we're gonna do Reuben sandwiches because my dad found a corned beef at, you know, thing of corned beef at Target. We're gonna do it with leftovers from St. Patrick's Day. We had no leftovers. So I was like, we have all this stuff to make Reuben sandwiches and no meat. So my dad picked that up. My mom will probably cook it up tomorrow, and we'll do that for 2 days. Because there should be more than enough for sandwiches for 2 days. Anyways, guys, I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.